Uh, okay, we are live. Think what we would do is go and share and then get started.
Mhm.
Okay, copy link, share.
I'm gonna moon here today.
Yeah, I did a I did a grow this period.
Shine, eh?
Is it shine?
Shine, baby.
That the purpose that oh. Yeah, yeah. I don't know who. Uh, okay. It's, no. Yeah, there are a few people on, so we'll just take a minute to share and then we can get going.
Yep.
Mm. Okay. Okay, we have about four people, five. Um, I'm ready if you are.
I am. I think we should just go ahead and start. Hello, everybody. Thanks again for joining the Outer Park Talk Show. We are happy to come live to your homes. It is our great pleasure to share our insights on important topics that's happening around the world. Today, we are going to continue on the war in Iran, its effects on the world, and its effects to us locally, thinking Canada and the US, and maybe touch a little bit about Cameroon or know a few things that are happening there today. We lost one of the greatest entertainers, Folly Duran. Maybe we'll touch on that a little bit, and also the upcoming paper visit scheduled for April, early April. So this is what we have in stock for you guys today. Um, as always, we would like to remind our viewers we don't claim to be experts on any of this topic. We are just interested in sharing um, in in learning about these things and sharing our ideas. So we don't claim to have the total knowledge of everything that's going on, but we just show interest and we like to share what we think. If these kind of things interest you, please join either through the comment section or a request to come on live. I'll be happy to accommodate your request. I think we have a few videos we just line up that we're going to be going on. Regardless, we just have a few topics that we're going to be delving on with particular attention to the US Israel Iran war. And then a few minutes to touch on what I earlier said is happening or is going to be happening in Cameroon. So I think, again, maybe I don't know if you want me to go.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think we had an outline that we're gonna just, frame the conversation for today so that we're not going off topic. We all know that today is the 27th day of the war on Iran. We see now the Strait of Hormuz is still a pressure point in this war. It's a major point of contention between the warring parties. Um, Israel and in particular the US want the strait open, but Iran is using it as a bargaining chip for this war. Also, we're also going to talk about maybe sort of the various and oftentimes contesting views of the warring parties. Iran says they're winning the war, the US says it's winning the war. So there's kind of like a propaganda, if you want to put it that way, that is going on that we're going to share our thoughts and insight. And finally, we're going to talk about the art of war in reality and what you see on social media. What is the reality of war and what are the things that you can expect of people who are actually living in that reality versus some of us who are miles away and only see it on TV and on social media. Yeah, so that's it for the um, the US-Iran war, and then again, share a few cents about the paper visit and maybe talk a little bit about one of our childhood heroes, Folly Rain. That sounds about right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So again, as I mentioned earlier, the war still continuing day 7. Um, it's day 27. I'm sorry, day 27. So it's getting close to a month, and some people see an end in sight, other people don't. People think we're gearing towards World War III. If you ask the Trump administration, they had said last week that they are winding down about to conclude the war in Iran. We just saw the recent declaration of the President of the United States, Donald Trump, today. He has extended his planned strike on the plant, the energy plant in Iran, to April the 6th, so Monday, April the 6th. So if you believe his side of the story, which is largely where I fall, you would think he is looking for everywhere possible to be able to give peace a chance in this war. But if you're looking on the opposite side, the Iranians are also saying they haven't had any official negotiation with Trump. They have refused. In fact, there was a 15-point plan that we might spend a few seconds going through that they say they have completely rejected. That was a day or two ago, but today Trump said he was offered a gift from Iran. So it's kind of hard to tell where we are on this struggle. And my assessment is I don't believe very much what the Iranians say. I trust to any extent what the President of the United States says, because I believe they are more closer to the truth than what we hear from the other side. I wouldn't be surprised if you disagree with that assessment. But I'm backing my point with the fact that at least 10 ships crossed today from the strait. And according to Trump, that was in a good faith effort that was guaranteed by the Iranians. Although these ships were Pakistan flagged, they still made it to the strip because the Iranians promised Trump and they came in good faith. So that is my initial assessment of where we are today. I still think we are winding down. We're coming close to the end of this. I'll be surprised if we add another few weeks to this war again. Um, Diplomacy is still on the table, according to the President of the United States. Discussions are ongoing and they are in good faith. Um, as I just stated, about the ship, they're ongoing, and he just posted again this evening that the media is trying to manipulate the conversation and push it in one direction as if nothing is happening. But discussions are happening behind closed doors, and both parties are looking forward to ending this. Okay, and I think he still has his 15 points that he wants to push through. That I'd like to hear your feedback. Then we will go through some of those points to kind of feel where the temperature is, see where they can agree and disagree. So that's my initial assessments. I would like to hear what you think.
Uh, Clearly, the war is going on.
Hmm.
Again, It's easy to start a war, but
Yeah.
it's hard to end one. I think Donald Trump is beginning to realize that starting wars and ending wars are two different things. One is easier, and one is a lot more complicated to do. And I think his experience with Iran is going to teach him a lesson that you can easily go in and attack, but you don't decide the war. Once you start a fight, the fight takes its own shape and evolves and changes as you go. You underestimate your opponent. Opponents would surprise you, as Iran surprised Americans and Israel.
Hmm.
When this war started, it was supposed to be a couple of days. It was very clear. Trump made it very clear. We'll go in. He had Iran was going to surrender in a couple of days, and then we're going to move on.
Hmm.
That was plan A. They went in. He had killed the Ayatollah, the supreme leader, killed top generals. Yet Iran stood its ground, and Iran is still fighting and inflicting significant damage on the United States. Like I said earlier, Iran does not have to win. Iran needs to survive this. That's
Hmm.
all Iran needs to do. Survive this. Trump and the Americans are those who need a win. The only way they can get out of this war if they can turn around and say that we've won. And because Trump has not been able to find victory in anything serious, he is forced to get into negotiations. As a matter of fact, Trump is claiming that the Iranians are begging for a deal. That is completely false. If you know Trump, you know he's a liar. No, that's a fact. Trump is probably the biggest liar manipulator that we've known.
Mhm.
So when he makes an effort to get the Iranians to talk peace, they say no. He comes around and he says they're begging for. How are they begging? I mean, I listened to the for Iranian foreign minister today or a couple of days ago. He said there is no direct uh, 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 um, talks with the United States. When a war happens, this is what we should know. When a war happens,
Mhm.
they are uh, parties who are not involved who will attempt to get the warring parties to talk. So Pakistan has been one of those countries who have been trying to get the United States and Iran to talk. So when Donald Trump sends a message to Pakistan, for example, the 15-point plan wasn't sent directly to the Iranians. It was sent to the Iranians through a subsidy, through a third party. So it comes to Iran. Iran looks at it and say, "Well, this is what you proposed the last time. We are not interested. We are going to keep fighting." Donald Trump
Mhm.
cannot turn around and say they are negotiating. They are not negotiating. It's not that is not a negotiation.
Mhm.
So let's we really need to make a clear distinction between negotiating and talking. It's not the same thing. Donald Trump passes messages again. Their channels are open. They pass messages back and forth, but it is not a negotiation. We need to define what a negotiation is. And if you
Mhm.
listen to the Iranian foreign minister, they are not negotiating with Trump.
Mhm.
Trump has sent in a 15-point plan. Iran has their own has their points, right? A three or four,
Mhm.
and unless they come to the table to negotiate, to sit down and talk about their different intentions and their different views on what peace should look like, you really cannot say that they are negotiating. um you talked about the Strait of Hormuz and you said 10 tankers or 10 ships kind of went through the Strait of Hormuz. It's not
Mhm.
because Trump wanted it to happen. Iran is not doing this out of good faith for Trump. Iran is doing this because Iran has reached a deal with the states whose tankers has passed through. Again, we've known from a very long time that Chinese tankers and ships are going through the straits because of their relationship with Iran. We know that Russian and Indian tankers are going through. Pakistani tankers are going through. Iran has made it very clear. Any state who is really wanting to have their tankers and ships go through the Strait of Hormuz need to connect with Iran, and they would hammer
Mhm.
a deal on how that is going to happen. So Trump can say whatever it is he wants to say. The only reason that tankers are going through the Strait of Hormuz is because Iran has reached a deal with this state. Japan, South Korea, they have an agreement with Iran.
Mhm.
So when their tankers go through, Iran lets them go through without attacking. To if Trump wants to prove that this is they have mutual understanding with Iran, let a tanker carrying the carrying Israel the Israeli flight flag go through the strait, or let a tanker with carrying an American flag go through the strait. That's the only time we would know that okay, yes, truly Iran is doing this in good faith. Iran is not going to let any tanker that's connected or
Well,
affiliated
you just
with the United States or Israel go through. I mean, if they have, name one.
yeah.
The only way you
No.
know that someone is extending an olive branch is if they would allow your tankers to go through.
Mhm.
That is not happening. Tankers are not going through for any European states that I know. Tankers are not going through for any Gulf states that I know of. So we can, Donald Trump can say whatever it is he wants to say. Iran is doing business. Tankers are going through the straits because they are now paying. You know that tankers going through or ships that are going through the Strait of Hormuz have to pay Iran. I think it's 1 million or 2 million. Just like they pay through the Panama Canal and they pay through every other canal. Now Iran is instituting a fee.
Mhm.
Tankers go through, they have to pay. Iran is in full control of the Strait of Hormuz. America can say whatever it is they want to say, do whatever it is they want to say. It doesn't change that fact. Another thing which is important to know is that um, if for whatever reason this so-called negotiation fails, I mean, Iran is
Mhm.
very clear. They are not negotiating until their terms, they have terms and conditions are met. That is the only time they will negotiate, right? So I'm assuming that whatever negotiation Trump thinks is happening is probably dead on arrival. Trump it's funny. It's not dead on arrival. It is dead on arrival. Iran has made it very clear through their
Yeah.
foreign minister that they are not
Hmm.
negotiating with the United States.
Right.
They have terms and conditions. Unless these terms and conditions are met, um, um,
Hmm.
they will not be having a conversation with the United States. Now the thing, the emerging um, item now that has been on the past day or two is that the United States is kind of sending reinforcement. They are sending troops to that
Hmm.
area, right? Beefing up
Hmm.
troops to that area, special forces, those who
Yeah.
are trained to do uh, parachute landing, things like that.
Right.
So now the question is, what are they planning to do? It's something that is not exactly clear what their intentions are, right? Are they going to seize the Strait of Hormuz? Are they planning to seize the other islands that are around? What is it that they are planning to do? I mean, I would assume that you follow Trump well enough to hopefully would have heard him say why he is reinforcing and
Well,
sending.
he hasn't said anything in that regard.
Any reason why, I mean, outside the claim of a negotiation, don't you think that the fact that he gave a 48 hours ultimatum, Iran did not budge? He gave a 5-day ultimatum. Iran said, we're ready, come whenever you feel like coming. Now it's a 10-day. Why is Trump flip-flopping from 48 hours and then now to 5 days and then now to 10
Right.
days? Why is he all over the place?
Because he is trying to exhaust all diplomatic means possible.
I mean,
He is giving them a long rope to drag. He said today, I am going to destroy the plant. Okay, if you're Iran, because at a certain level, I know you're called of death, but at a certain level, you say we have gone through a lot. That we have to cut our losses and then go and negotiate. Because remember, we're not dealing with someone who draws a line in the sand like the previous presidents of the United States. This is not Obama. This is not Biden. This is not even George Bush. This is someone who says what he means and means what he says. Okay,
mm,
so I don't know what do we want peace or not? It's a question that I'm
the, the,
struggle to
the
get
question
some.
is what kind of peace do you think Iran wants? I
Yeah,
mean, I know the
well,
kind of peace the United States wants. The United States wants the kind of peace that allows them to install a puppet regime in Iran so that they have control of the people, they have control of their resources, maybe
right,
possible split Iran into little regions so that they are easily managed. That is the
right,
kind of peace that the United States wants. And Iran that is weak, and Iran that is not able to stand and challenge and challenge Israel. Iran
right.
that is not able to support the liberators and fighters in
Liberators,
of
liberators.
course, Hamas.
Hamas
Hamas
is a
is a
liberator.
liberation movement. It is a liberation movement.
Oh,
We've
come
talked
on.
about this. I'm surprised why you keep bringing us back. We've talked about
You
how
know, no, I
no,
just made it.
no, you
Go
made a
ahead.
comment, but you made a comment on something that is a fact. That is why it
That's a
brings us
fact.
back. Hamas is a liberation movement,
Okay.
and that is why Hamas was formed. Hezbollah is a liberation movement, so that
Right.
is why Hezbollah was formed. So so the United States wants Iran that is unable to support any of these allies or unable to support, call them proxies, allies, however I want to call them, because they want Israel to be the dominant major player in the Middle East, and only Iran is able to challenge it. That is the kind of peace that the United States wants. That is the kind of peace that Donald Trump wants. I'll tell you the kind of peace that Iran wants. The kind
Mhm.
of peace Iran wants is a peace with the guarantee that no one, not the United States, not Israel, is ever going to have the guts to attack Iran. That is the kind of peace Iran wants. Iran wants a peace that comes with reparations. for the crimes that have been committed by Israel and the United States. That is the kind of peace that
Yeah.
Iran wants,
Okay.
right? Iran wants a
No,
peace
no,
that
no,
they
right?
are able to defend themselves, have ballistic missiles. They are willing and they're able to have to go through with a civil nuclear program. That is the kind of peace that Iran wants. And if you see, they are on different sides of the rope, right? The kind of peace that Donald Trump and Israel want for Iran is not what Iran is willing to offer. So where do we go from here? I think that is the question. Donald Trump
Mm.
can push this thing 10 days, 20 days, 40 days. At the end of the day, we are going to come back to this same position where where Iran says, I can't give you what you're asking for. We've told you this a long time ago. We are ready for you to attack. And Donald Trump will keep pushing. That is where we are. Where do we go from here? That is the question.
Well, you said a lot of things that I
Yeah.
completely disagree with.
Mm.
One, you said Iran is coming; they are not coming in good faith. I think you slipped that in. That was a Freudian slip, but I think you spoke the truth there. They are not coming in good faith because these are people who have been negotiating with Iran, with the U.S., with Israel, with other international partners who have you know, not met all the points that they previously agreed to. Okay, so coming and go for, I don't think it's something that you can attach to Iran. Then you say Iran wants peace, and then you went ahead to say the kind of peace that Iran wants is the one to enrich nuclear weapons, is the one to be able to support its
I didn't
proxies.
say enrich nuclear weapons. I say have an active civilian nuclear program. It's not the same thing.
What is an
Iran
active
doesn't have a
civilian?
nuclear weapon. They have never attempted to create a nuclear weapon.
Well,
They
not,
want
but
a
they want to.
civilian nuclear program.
Okay,
It's
okay,
not the
yeah,
same thing.
okay. Okay, so they want a civilian nuclear program, which I think I think I'm going back
Which
there.
is their right to
Which
have.
is your right. Well, but if you have been said, if you said we agree to 3% and now you're 60% enriched uranium, and you clearly said in the meeting, this is what the US negotiator said, that we are going to continue. We have enough uranium to build 10 bombs, and we don't care what you say. Okay. Again, this comes down to the kind of president you're dealing with. It's not the same as Obama's or the Biden. When you say that in a negotiation with someone who's coming to you diplomatically, that we are trying to resolve this in a way that does not involve bloodshed and waste of time going to war. And you say, no, our starting point is we have enough to develop 10 bombs, and we don't care what you say. I'm sorry, you're dealing with someone who, for the last 40 years, has said Iran cannot have nuclear weapons. So when you make that kind of statement, and you think this is Obama era, or you think this is Biden era, and you can just say anything and go scot-free, again, going down to the point of Iranian peace, what kind of peace chance death to America? What kind of peace chance death to Israel? What kind of peace chance death to the Western world? Okay, this is what they are grooming their children. I mean, Hamas was the same thing. Their main goal is they don't have the capability, but should they have had the capability, their main goal is to wipe out Israel. That's part of the plan. Israel is the first devil, is the small devil. America is another. In fact, the Western civilization is part of the larger devil. So to say Iran just want peace from the nuclear program, civilian nuclear program, and they are 60% when they agree to 3%. I mean, it's a little bit ridiculous. These are people who have lied over and over again. They have refused access to the UN, not even US, UN organization that's supposed to check their nuclear activity. They have shunned them out. They cannot even verify what the state of Iranian enrichment is. These are people whose goal is to bring down I mean, why they are attacking other people? They promise to attack hotels. Like you're going down and you want to just bring everybody around you. I mean, are these people that can you can ever negotiate with them in good faith? Like
So
seriously.
why
I
is
mean,
Trump trying to negotiate? He should kill them all.
what
Isn't that what he
because
should do? I mean,
it,
if Iran is so mischievous and so untrustworthy, why is Trump attempting to
well,
negotiate?
because there are times to
I
negotiate
can't
in the
get
war.
it.
When I beat you down,
If you already know that the opponent is not one you can trust and not one you can negotiate with, why do you keep trying to negotiate? And that is something
well,
that I don't get. Why do you
why
keep
do you
trying to?
try? Well, but you because you tell me you have 10 bombs, you have the capability to build 10 bombs. You tell me that your clerics are their sole responsibility is to be able to build this bomb. First of all, I kill all your clerics. I destroy most of your ability to build bomb. I destroy your facilities that are able to build this bomb. And then I mean whether you like it or not, the US and Israel
I mean,
are
if
the
you
power.
if
They're on the driving seat here. They are ruling the thing. I mean, they control Iranian airspace. Somebody wish you a
if you
national
keep
holiday and
talking
tells you
about
that we're watching from above.
telling me
Like, come
you
on.
keep telling me about people controlling the Iranian airspace with F-16s being shot off the skies, and rockets keep flying
Right.
and hitting Israel. And what
I
airspace are
mean,
you talking about? I don't get it.
say the control doesn't mean they control 100%. I mean, you're still
Even
gonna have
even Russia does not claim that they control the Ukrainian airspace, and they've damaged almost everything, but they cannot claim that they control the airspace because they cannot stop them from launching weapons, and their planes cannot fly over Ukraine. So you cannot control something from a distance. That is what I don't understand. You cannot control something from a distance. If you control my
from a
airspace, I
distance.
need to see your planes.
This is sophisticated warfare. This is
How sophisticated can
yeah,
it be? If you control something, you
what?
control it or you don't. If you control it, why is the Strait of Hormuz still closed? And
Well,
if you control Iranian airspace, why is the Strait of Hormuz still closed? I don't
they,
understand.
you have to know that the Iran has like missiles,
So
underground
how do
missiles
you
in the
control?
world.
How do you
But
control someone's airspace when they still have the capacity and the capabilities to shoot out missiles and to
well, because control
push?
doesn't mean 100%. Control doesn't mean
What
you
are you
have a
talking? No,
hundred
no,
percent
no, no,
control.
no, no, man.
Yeah, how can you?
When we use words again, like
Uh-huh.
I made reference to Russia. I said Russia, even Russia, does not claim that they control
Because
the
Russia is a
Ukrainian
different ball
airspace.
game.
No, it's not a different ball game.
It is a different ball
No,
game. It's a different war.
So far the Ukrainian Air Force has been damaged significantly by Russia. It's the same claims that the United States could make with respect to the Air Force of Iran. They've damaged it considerably, but it does not mean that you control the airspace. It's things like this. I don't know if it's you misrepresent what you're trying to say, or you
No, I don't.
intentionally. But how do you control air? How do you control the
What
airspace by
maybe control? I don't know. Let's
again?
say
You can't use
dominate.
you can't use words
Okay,
like that and say you don't know.
let's say they dominate. Okay,
Yeah,
because
dominate is
when
a
I
whole
say
different
control,
thing.
w-
It's a more
I'm sorry.
appropriate word. It's a more appropriate word
Okay, yeah,
than
I agree with
control.
you. Maybe dominate because
And then another thing which we need to
control
clarify,
can be
right?
misconstrued to mean 100% control. I
Of
mean, if
course.
you control something, it doesn't mean that okay, dominate is an appropriate word, but they dominate the skies of Iran. Okay, they effectively neutralizing missile sites. I mean, they're not 100%, but the control
you,
is
you
it's
keep
a
making
significant
statements
domination.
and
You know,
correcting yourself.
well, because you're trying to redefine the word control. I mean,
Control is control.
well, which is
Unless
fair.
you want to, be specific and say they control 95%, they control 10%. But again,
Is it
how how
control?
how do you how do you judge
That's the
that?
point. Well,
How do
because
you
your
judge
assessment,
because
your assessment of control is 100% control that
no, no,
Iran should
no,
not do
no.
anything.
You have to put
Like,
it in context. If you want to use control, contextualize the word.
yeah,
Say
they
they
have
have 10%
significant
control, they
control.
have 20%, they have significant control. Fine. But when
Yeah,
you use the word in itself, control, it means they
sure,
have
sure.
100% control over everything.
No, no, it doesn't mean that's your interpretation that it
Okay,
means
that's how I
100%.
interpret it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it doesn't mean. Um,
So
so yeah,
where do
sorry.
we go from here?
I don't know.
Iran is not a trustworthy partner in
Oh,
negotiations. I agree. You've
are
made
you
that
saying
statement.
that? I'm
I
surprised.
agree.
I'm
No,
surprised to hear.
it's a statement that you've made, and then
Okay, I'm sorry. I
I'm
thought you were
agreeing
trying
with you.
to.
I'm agreeing with you for the sake of conversation.
Right.
And then I ask you, where do
Mhm,
we go from here? Considering that we
mhm,
already know that
mhm.
Iran is not going to negotiate in good faith. Why do
Oh,
the United? Why does the United States keep trying to negotiate with a partner, knowing fully well that the negotiation is going to fail? Why is Donald
no,
Trump?
no, 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 no,
Why
no,
does
no.
he?
Why are you so pessimistic? Why are you saying the negotiation is going to
Because
fail?
the Iranians have said it very clearly.
They have negotiated the first point of contact. I mean, they have rejected it that we don't want this point. That's part of negotiations.
It's
It
not
doesn't.
a negotiation unless you're sitting on the table and having a conversation
Well,
on
you
the
don't have to
issues.
literally sit on the table. I mean, they have ways of talking to each other, the backdoor channels that they do talk to each other.
It's
You don't have to
again,
necessarily sit on the table.
I speak. The Iranian foreign minister
Right,
made it very clear in his outing
right,
today. We
hmm
are not negotiating with the United States.
right.
We received a message from the United States through a third party. We looked
Hmm.
at it and we sent a message back. That is
Hmm.
not negotiation. According to the Iranian foreign minister, maybe the Americans think they are negotiating, but Iran does not believe. Iran
Believes
does
in
not
negotiating. Yeah.
say that they are
Sure.
negotiating. They received
Sure.
a message, they sent a message back rejecting the message that they received. That is
Hmm.
not a negotiation. That is the
Okay.
point I'm trying to make.
Right. So, well, the Americans are saying the Iranians are begging to negotiate. They are coming.
How again? Why would somebody be begging to negotiate with you and rejecting your attempts to negotiate with them? It is
I'm
too. It
sure you
doesn't make
understand
any
the
sense.
meaning. I'm sure you understand the word propaganda. What propaganda means, because not everything that you
So the
hear on the
Iranian
media.
foreign minister comes
Oh,
out
so the
on
U.S. president
national
is lying.
television to do
So,
propaganda on whether or not they are negotiating.
of course, they have been known to be
Would
strong
it be
propaganda
fair to
machine.
say that Donald Trump is covering his ass by claiming every day that they are negotiating with Iran? Would it be fair to claim that? No, I
Okay,
mean, no,
what?
because again,
No, I didn't get
the
your
reason,
question. Re-ask your question again.
would it
I
be
didn't
fair?
understand. Hmm.
Because you think it's fair, you think it's okay, you think it's fair to assume that the foreign minister of Iran will come to the world and do a propaganda about negotiation, right?
Yeah, yeah, I think
Would
it's
it
fair
be
to
fair
assume
to
that.
assume too that Trump is insisting that they are negotiating with Iran because he is trying to cover the failures and the pressure that he is getting? Would that,
Mhm.
or would it be fair to assume that Donald Trump
You're making it as if that's a
is doing
foul
propaganda?
position. That's a position that you hold. You are clearly you're just not saying it, but you are clearly holding the position that the Americans are making a propaganda video. I on my
We
side,
assume that that is what they are making. I
well,
assume it's
yeah,
propaganda
and
as
then
well.
you are rejecting. You are on the other side rejecting that Iran
No,
is
no,
not
I'm
making a
not
propaganda
rejecting.
video.
Again, I'm not rejecting. I'm saying that
What?
if you can assume that the Iranians are doing mass doing propaganda with the negotiation,
Right.
it is
Mhm.
fair to assume too that Donald
Mhm.
Trump too
It's fair. It's
is
very fair to assume. So
right.
what
So
I
we
think it
assume
boils
that
down to the point.
both of them
Mhm.
are doing
Oh,
propaganda.
I mean, yeah, you should take information from both of them with a grain of salt and try to verify. I am coming from the point of view that this war is being fought
Have you
in Iran.
verified whether or not Iran is begging to negotiate with
Well,
them, with
I know
America?
that's what the U.S. administration is saying,
And
and
again,
also
the Iranian
the
administration is saying something very different.
the same question I can ask you: have you verified that they are actually rejected or they are not coming to the back door to negotiate?
No,
Huh. So we don't know. It boils down to who do you believe? That's the point.
I
Who
believe
do
who I
you?
believe, and you believe who you
Huh,
believe. Can
who,
we agree to
that's the
disagree
point.
and move on?
That's the point. So it really comes down to who do you believe is going to make a propaganda video. I am looking at all the facts. They are fighting at a war in your country. They have killed your supreme leader. They have killed your top military leaders. They have killed a bunch of people. They have significant domination on your estate. I won't use the word control
Yeah, yeah.
again. They have a significant control of your airspace. Okay, yes, your fire missiles, yes, you still have some military capabilities, but they have almost to 90 more than 90% destroy your missile capabilities. They did a war
Again,
in
that
your
again,
country last
we
year.
cannot verify that. So that
You
is just
see,
a statement.
right?
It's not a
Well,
fact. So we cannot verify it.
that's
Agreed.
okay. We can, but we can all agree the war is happening in Iran. They have and um they have racked up certain costs to war, both human, military,
Mhm.
and material. So there's a lot that they've lost. So
Yeah.
who is at a point for who is at a point to benefit more from a negotiation? How at this point say Iran? And I'm not saying that America is not going to benefit. Of course, they spent a lot of money. They've lost soldiers. They've lost equipment. They too are interested in negotiating because nobody wants to have an unending war, you know. But to say Iran is rejecting a point for negotiation as if they are in the driving seat, I'm sorry, they are not. You can see the number of Iranian top leaders who are being killed every day, and you say these people are in the driving seat to reject a 15 point. Of course, what do you expect them to say when they come out to the wall? They have a propaganda video that they have to push out. They have an idea. They want to push out there that's still strong. Although every day you see in the news that this leader has been killed. Okay, so is it unexpected for them to come and say that they have rejected a point?
we keep
or 15
mistaking
point.
we keep mistaking dead people for a state. These leaders again. That is why you have people. You have positions and they ranked and there's a structure. You can kill the ayatollah. They just have a new ayatollah who is running
There you
the
go. There you go
you
again,
can
minimizing the
listen.
death of
You can kill.
Ayatollah.
You can kill a general. Again, they just appoint a new general, and the war continues. Again, and the reason why I say this is because there has not been any signs of weakness from Iran since this
There's
war.
not been
No,
really,
they've continued to fight. Irrespective of the
really.
fact that you've killed the Ayatollah, they've just appointed a new Ayatollah, and the war has
Well,
continued.
for one, the
Irrespective of
number
the
of
fact that
missiles,
you've killed
for one, the number of missiles that they shot
still
at the first
irrespective.
day,
Again, like
no,
I
but
said,
it's gone down significantly.
it is
Like,
irrespective. Again, because Iran does not need to win. You mistake. Iran does not need to win. Iran needs to survive, and the surviving party does not. So the only thing they have to do is survive
they
this
are
war.
not surviving. That's the point. They are
They
not even
are
surviving
surviving.
from your
The state
definition.
of
They're
Iran is
not.
still there. They have control over the
What,
Strait of
what,
Hormuz. How are they not surviving when the giant United States cannot open the Strait of Hormuz? They're
what you
begging.
say?
Donald Trump has been begging Iran from day one.
Begging.
Begging Iran, yes, begging. Why is the Strait of Hormuz still closed? Dana, answer that question.
Uh,
Why?
for one, I said earlier as we started today that 10 ship passed today from Pakistan, and you will say, oh, they offer the Union authorities. Fine,
But
sure, but
these are not the first ships that have passed. Remember
no, but this,
our last show,
but
I told you the number of ships that passed. So this is not new. It's not an
right,
American ship. It's not a
but
ship
they
from
negotiated
Israel.
the
It's
U.S.
not a European
negotiators.
ship. They,
No,
it's not. It's a Pakistani ship, and
I
Pakistani
don't
ships
care,
have
but
been
I don't really
passing.
care what kind of ship it is. I
These
don't really
ships,
care.
see, these ships have been passing through the strait
What,
since the Iran decided to take control of the strait. So
right,
it's not like
right.
it's a new thing. No, ships
But
have been coming
what
through.
does it matter? It doesn't matter. The point
It
is
does
they
matter.
ship the ship went to the strait because they say they are coming in good faith. They want to negotiate in good faith. At least
No, the
that's what
ships
they're
are going
negotiating.
through the strait because they
But
have
I'm talking about
paid.
today.
No, I'm talking about today because I mean, you 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 can check. They have paid their fee to Iran, and they have sought permission from Iran to pass. That is the only
Mhm,
reason why these tankers are able to go through the strait.
mhm.
It's not because Donald Trump has said that. No, you remember when we had a conversation the last time?
So
Donald Trump
if everybody pays, if the US pays, they can go to the strait.
except the US and Israel and the European
Well,
states that are fighting against that are fighting
well,
Iran
uh-huh,
and the Gulf states. They made it very clear from day one: no ship, no tankers from the United States,
mhm,
nothing from Israel, associated to any of these two countries. If you're supporting these two states in a war against Iran, like the Gulf states, their tankers cannot go through.
mhm.
European states, their tankers are not going through. The European states are negotiating with Iran. European states are negotiating with
Of
Iran for
course.
their tankers to go through the strait. So it has nothing to do with Donald Trump. Donald Trump, as usual, can claim victory or can claim that, oh, it's because I'm threatening or because of the peace. Fine. But the facts are very clear.
The
If this thing
facts.
is happening, let Donald Trump negotiate for an American ship to go through the strait. That is when we will know that it's going through because of the negotiation. If at all there
Yeah,
is a negotiation.
considering the nature of Iranians and how they negotiate, how in general they usually
So
end.
why are you trying to negotiate with them? Kill
Well,
them all.
because you
Kill
have to
them
talk to
all.
people that you
You
disagree.
how many have
Even
you killed? Kill them all. If you don't trust that they can negotiate with you, why are you negotiating? I don't get it. What's the point?
because every war has to come to a negotiation. And I don't care whether
No,
you
not
think,
every war comes to a negotiation. There are wars
okay,
where
how does
one
it come?
party wins and it ends. They dictate terms, and there's no negotiation. The parties that won the Second World War did not go to negotiate with Japan. They did not negotiate with Germany. They dictated terms. There was no
Right,
negotiation.
right. When did they negotiate? After they had bombed Japan, right?
Again, there was no. They won the war. That is the point I'm
But
trying.
they negotiated after they had bombed Japan,
They did
and
not
Japan gave up.
negotiate. They dictated terms. They brought them Japan to the table and they said, "This is
But
what is going to
that's
happen."
what I'm saying. The
But
US
it's
is
not a
dictating the terms
negotiation.
here, but you are
They're
refusing.
not, that
They
is
are in the
not a
driving.
negotiation.
Iran is not in the driving ship. In the driving ship, my friend.
But the
They have
United
no
States
right. They
has
have,
not won. And that's why
they,
Iran is not on
what?
the table taking
What?
terms.
Oh,
The United
I
States
mean,
has not won.
you use the word win. What does win mean? I mean, what does it
If
mean
you
to
win,
win a
the
war?
other party will be sitting on the table and you will be dictating terms. That is how you
Really?
know that you won.
So the other party, and they are claiming that the other party let shift pass there because they want to come to negotiate in good faith. You don't seem to acknowledge that.
I don't see American ships going through. I
Your
don't
point is
see.
American ships.
Put your
Your point
ships
is
through.
American ships.
Put
Your point
put
is
put American ships through.
you want to see American ship go through.
That's how you know you won. If an
But
American ship can go through the Suez,
because
that is how you
I
know
mean, I think you're making a false dichotomy here because you think this war is strictly for American purpose, but this war is to help the war
which
because
world? The
most
world did not ask America to fight. When
well because
America decided to go attack Iran, America did not come to the United Nations to plead a case. America did not go
yeah,
come.
because at a certain
America
point
did not come to fight. So
you don't
America
need
should stop using the world. This thing is for America and
it is help
Netanyahu
the
and
war.
Israel. It has
No, it is to
nothing to do.
help the war.
It has nothing to do with anybody else. They've put.
It is to help the war
No, they have
because
drawn. They
Iran is
have
attacking
drawn.
the Gulf states. Iran is attacking its Gulf state. Iran is
When
attacking its
when did Iran attack? When did Iran attack the Gulf state?
when the war started.
So without the war, has Iran ever attacked any of the Gulf states?
Not necessarily. No.
You can't don't not necessary or no.
Well,
Which one is it?
because you're making it as if it's Iran was just peaceful.
Iran has never attacked any of the Gulf states
Yeah.
prior to the war.
Right.
Iran has not never attacked any European states prior to the war. Iran has not even attacked America prior to the war.
Well, okay. We talk about killing American soldiers,
I
bombing
am
American
talking about
embassies.
attacking the United States of America. I'm not talking about, you don't stop pulling Hezbollah and Hamas. Has nothing to
Why
do with
not?
Iran. It has nothing to do with
It has
Iran.
everything to do with
Nothing.
Iran. I mean, for you to divorce that, it has anything to do with Iran. That means you don't even understand the concept of you. You don't even understand why they are fighting in the first place. You seem to think as if this war just started 3 weeks ago. This is something that has been going on for decades. Okay,
Iran
that
has been
Iran
fighting
has
a war with the United States for decades.
for
That's what
using their proxies for decades.
with the United
Okay,
States.
with the United States, they have killed. I mean,
Where?
if you kill my soldier, you are at war
Where?
with me. This is
Where?
not. Well, in Lebanon, they have killed American soldiers. In Iraq, they have killed American soldiers in
Because
I think it's Oman
because
and
of
whatever.
what? In peacetime, did the United States
In
not
what?
attack? Did the United States not attack Iraq?
When?
What do you mean when?
When did the United States attack Iran?
When Colin Powell was coming around and talking about weapons of mass destruction, Iraq.
I will talk about Iran.
No, I'm talking about Iraq. You said
No,
you
but,
said Iran has killed people in Iraq. So
well, because Iran has militias in Iraq.
Why is why would the proxies in Iraq be killing Americans?
Did you not just hear what I said? Their motto is to kill Israel, then to America, and then to Israel. Why don't you believe these people when they say these things? Why don't you believe them?
They have never attacked the United States.
Really?
They have never attacked.
I just listened to you. Thousands of American soldiers who have died.
And
as a result of
or you're
Iran.
saying that they've used weapons from Iran or their proxies. Do you know how
The
many people
Iran sponsors them.
Do you know how many Russians have died because because of American weapons? I don't see Russia saying that we are in a war with the United States.
Okay, so I mean, I don't know that you think this war just started 3 weeks ago or even last year. That means I don't know that you recognize that it's an ongoing thing that has been happening for more than 4 decades. Okay,
When
this is
and
not
how?
something of
You're
yesterday.
not explaining to me when and how it's been happening. When? Why is it happening? You're not explaining that to me. You're just giving me blanket statements and not giving me any explanation. Say this war has been going on for 40 years. America has not been in war with Iran.
What? Okay. We literally talked about this about 2 episodes ago. You're just making me go back to read the same.
No, you are going back to it. I am not. You are going back to read something that I challenged at the last episode, but you're choosing to
Uh-huh.
go back to it.
Right.
So you are
Because you're making it sound as if the war just started last year. You're making it sound as if the America's refusal of Iran to develop nuclear weapons just started last year. Okay, this is something that's been going on for decades, and for us not to
they were
recognize
not
the
fighting
history of
a
this thing,
war. That is the point I'm making. They were not
but
fighting a war.
they were
They
fighting
might have
what?
had disagreements on Iran's.
Disagreements.
They were simply simple disagreements, and that's why Obama was able to get a
So
deal
wait,
with
so
Iran.
you're going to keep 241 U.S. personnel, and you tell me that we're not in war?
Who is?
Iran sponsored Hezbollah in
Talk
Beirut.
about who did the who? Is it Iran or
Hezbollah.
Hezbollah?
Iran supports Hezbollah. What are you talking
Is
about?
it Iran or Hezbollah? If I give you money and you use the money to buy weapons and kill someone, is it me? You know, who is
It's
killing
you.
Americans?
Is you through? Is me through you?
Who is killing Americans?
The
Is
person
it
who
Iran or
sponsors
Hezbollah? It
is
cannot be both.
Hezbollah through Iran. It can be both.
It cannot be both.
It
It has
it
to be
can
the
be
right
both.
person
No,
who
no,
does
it
it.
can be both. It can be both.
Just like
That's
it's Iran that just like it's Iran that orchestrated the October 7 killings in Israel, right?
well, they sponsor Hamas, so yes, they
Was
are
it
culpable.
Iran? You keep.
Yes,
Was it Iran
yes,
or
they sponsor
Hamas?
Hamas.
Is it
Well,
Iran or Hamas, man? You keep.
Iran sponsors Hamas. Like, what are you saying? It's neither. You're trying to frame it as if they're mutually exclusive. They are not. They are working in conjunction with each other. These are normally it's not one or because you sponsor the other, you are also culpable of that same act. It's like saying, oh, is it
I,
you? How can I put it? If I give you a weapon to go and kill somebody, and then someone gives you, and my goal is to make sure that person dies. Oh, is it you and this person, or is it you or this person? You cannot frame the question
so
that way. It's not a,
it's
it's
Iran.
not, it's they are not two dichotomies.
Iran has been fighting a war with the United States for
They have,
years. Okay,
they
that's you,
have,
but I mean, I'm not going to
they
argue.
have.
Okay,
Well, I mean, 96, if a truck bomb killing 19 U.S. airmen in Saudi Arabia with investigators showing direct Iranian responsibility. This is 96. What are we talking about? Did this
direct
war start
Iranian
yesterday?
responsibilities. Okay,
Yes. What did I talk about? Iranian fast attack vessels have frequently harassed U.S. Navy ships in the Persian Gulf, seizing vessels in 2016. This war did not
has
start yesterday,
America
my
not been
man.
seizing Iranian vessels?
What's America?
I mean,
Are they?
have Americans not been seizing
They
Iranian vessels?
have.
Has
They have.
American sponsored proxies not been killing Iranians?
Where? Bring
In
your evidence. I'm
what do you
reading a
mean?
few here. Bring your evidence.
Who kills Qasim Soleimani?
What was he doing in Iraq? He was responsible for killing American airmen,
Of course,
American
of course.
soldier men in US. I mean, you can read about Soleimani. You can read about him. He was in Iraq to
Where
coordinate an attack.
again? You're taking me to where do we go from here? That is my question.
Well, but it's important that we acknowledge this thing,
No,
and
no,
we
no.
cannot just be
We've
talking like
talked
that.
about that
Well, I say
multiple
we have
times.
to negotiate. Iran has no choice but to negotiate. If not, this is going to continue in perpetuity. They are invested in negotiating. I know that you don't agree with that, but they are invested in their own survival. Their leader is nowhere to be found. The new Ayatollah, no one has seen it. We don't even know how
Does it
if it's
matter?
injured or not.
Does it
It
matter
does
whether
matter.
anybody has
Well,
seen it?
because if you want to show strength that you're leading the country
Do you
and that you're
need
a
one
strong leader,
person to show strength? That I don't get the point. Do you need
well,
the Ayatollah to keep fighting? Is the Ayatollah for you or for the people of Iran? Because they are not
do
asking to
you
see him. Why are
do you
you interested in
understand?
seeing him?
Do you
I
understand
don't.
camaraderie?
Why are the Americans and Israel interested to see the Ayatollah? He is
Well,
not the
because they are
Ayatollah of
claiming that he
America.
is severely
No,
damaged.
he
They are
is not.
claiming
It
that
doesn't
they,
matter.
it
Irrespective,
doesn't matter.
he is not the Ayatollah of America. He is not the Ayatollah of Israel. The Iranians are not asking to see him. They don't need to see him.
I wonder if you're going to say this thing about Trump if we don't see him for like a week or two. I wonder if you're going to say that it doesn't matter.
It
Would you
doesn't
say
matter.
the
Does it
same
matter?
thing?
It matters to the Americans. It doesn't matter to the Iranians whether or not Donald
Oh,
Trump
okay,
is.
whatever.
This is
My point is the Iranians are very much invested in ending the war. Okay, I mean, Trump has meant what he said, and he said what he meant. Okay, he said we are going to destroy your power plant if you don't negotiate, and
Don't
Look,
don't forget don't forget that America also has assets in the Gulf, assets that can be reached by by the Iranians. Don't forget
sure,
that Israel is there,
of
and
course,
of course, an
of
attack on
course.
Iran results to a direct attack on
We're talking
Israel.
about 27 days. Are you telling me Iran is getting stronger after 27 days with
But just
most
like
of their military
America isn't
capabilities?
getting any stronger, is America stronger now than it was 27 days ago?
Well, they have the ability
No,
to
no.
hit Iran
Since we are
hard.
talking about people getting weak with time, is America stronger today than America was 20 days ago? Is Israel stronger today than they were 28 days ago or 27 days ago? No.
Someone tells you I have direct sight on your power
Still
plant.
doesn't
You
mean you're
still do not
stronger.
negotiate. It does mean if someone tells you I have a strong dominance over your airspace, it means I'm stronger. I can control most of. Sure, I've
Iran is
lost
still
weapons.
there. Iran is still
But
there.
what do you mean they should move and
Iran
go
is
elsewhere?
still there, and they are still fighting. They still have a military.
Okay,
They still
well,
have
okay.
an air force. They are still shooting weapons. So when you
Mhm.
keep talking about Iran is still fighting.
Oh, okay. Well, I've said what I think will go from here. I think Iran, they are actually in the position to beg for a negotiation. What is
They
your own
haven't
opinion?
so far. They haven't.
Okay, the American says they have. You say they don't. Okay,
I
that's
say
fair. What?
no. It's not me. The Iranians say they haven't.
That's what I'm saying. It's not me. It's the Americans saying that they are
Fine.
begging for
We
negotiation.
agree. The Americans say they
Good.
have. The Iranians say they have not. They
Right.
are
Yeah.
not.
You
Right.
believe the Iranians. I believe the Americans.
The Strait of
I think.
Hormuz.
I
The
think.
Strait of Hormuz
Oh,
is still closed.
okay. Yeah. So where do we
That is
go
the
from
first thing.
here? Yeah.
The
Where will we
Strait,
go from here?
the fight continues.
Okay.
Those who think that there's going to be a negotiation, yeah, there's not going to be a negotiation unless
Okay.
unless it is going to people are going to come to the table without preconditions. America
Okay.
is not going to send a 15 point plan to Iran and just expect that Iran is going to accept, and Iran hasn't is not gotten to that point yet. Maybe
Okay.
eventually they might get to the point where they would beg for a negotiation. We are not there yet. That that
Okay.
that is the start.
Well, let the war continue.
But however, I think we should look at again, which is, I think this is even more important.
Hmm.
We've talked about the war itself.
Hmm.
Let's talk about the politics behind the war. I think
Right.
that piece of conversation is important.
Hmm.
And let's maybe let's start with the United States.
Hmm.
The United States has military dominance over Iran. That's a fact.
Hmm. Okay.
That is a clear fact. There's no we cannot challenge that. It's a fact.
Okay.
So militarily, the United States has the upper hand.
Okay.
Okay. Now, that is the war aspect. Let's look at the politics behind the war. A majority of Americans, first of all, the Americans were not sold the war. They were not informed. They were not convinced
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
this war was necessary for the Americans. That's the first
Hmm.
thing. Secondly, a majority of Americans are not in support of the war.
Hmm.
Were not in support of the war. They believe that they are only in this because Israel wanted or convinced Donald Trump to get in.
Hmm.
They don't believe that it is in America's interest to be fighting a war with Iran at this point in time. That is the politics. Because a majority of Americans do not support the war, Donald Trump's how you call it, his when you do polling, and his
Approval ratings.
approval rating has dropped significantly,
Hmm.
very significantly. His base is divided into has been fragmented into several pieces, to the point where at this point, if there was an elections in America today, the Republicans will lose the House, they will lose the Senate.
Hmm.
And if this keep going, Donald Trump would be a lame duck president by the end of November.
Hmm.
That is the politics of this war.
Hmm.
If you look at the cost of living in the United States, fuel prices have gone up, which will eventually result to increase in the prices of other basic commodities.
Mhm.
That is an issue for Americans. Americans are more interested in they are more interested in the domestic economic situation more than they are interested in what is going on outside the United States, right?
Mhm.
And what is going on outside the United States, the war with Iran has a direct implication, a direct impact on how the common American person on the street is doing.
Mhm.
That is the politics of the war.
Yeah.
At this point in time, the politics of this war is against Donald Trump. And it
Mhm.
is for that reason that Donald Trump needs an off ramp. He is going to
Mhm.
bully and pressure Iranians into a negotiation because he needs it
Yeah.
before November. He needs this war to end as soon as possible so he can have a few months to rebuild his reputation. Again, Donald Trump was elected into the presidency because he promised that he was not going to be fighting any wars.
Mhm.
He was a peace president. But so far, he has demonstrated to his base, to the MAGA base, to the Republican Party, to the American as a whole, that he was not the peace president that he claimed to be. That is the politics behind Donald Trump's behind this war. Now let's look at Iran, the politics, the war. Let's look at the war itself. Yes,
Mhm.
Iran is getting a pounding. That's a fact. However, all they need is to at the end of the day survive. If this war takes 10 years, if it takes 3 months, at the end of the day, all Iran needs is to survive as a state. That is all they need. Now let's look at the politics behind this. The Americans killed the Ayatollah. What happened? It galvanized the Iranians. They all came, I mean, a majority of them came out to the street in support of the administration, in support of the flag. The United States had anticipated that with the death of the Ayatollah and a vacuum with the top military officials, the people were going to rise up and overthrow the government. That did not happen. The Iranian people are enlisting into the army in record numbers. They are coming out on the streets in support of their government every day in different cities. That is the politics of
Mhm.
this war. Iran now has control, effective control over the Strait of Hormuz. They determine who goes through. Whoever is going through now has to pay a toll to the state coffers. It's working for Iran. Iran's oil now is being sold. Iran's oil that had been embargoed and sanctioned to oblivion is now being sold in the international trade market. Why? Because they need the oil to reduce the price of oil in the market. So Iran is making a killing out of that. Not only Iran, there are a couple of other states that are making a killing, but Iran is making a killing out of that. They are collecting a toll from the Strait of Hormuz. They are determining which vessels go through the Strait of Hormuz. Yes, they may have lost the Ayatollah, they may have lost a couple of top generals, but Iran is still standing. And it is the politics that is keeping Iran at this point. Yeah, they've suffered losses, but it's the politics behind the war that is keeping Iran at this safe at this point.
Mhm.
Again, that just wanted to kind of look into,
Yeah,
uh,
fair point.
and I'll
You
let
you
you
you said a lot
do
there.
analysis.
I mean, there's not much for me to push back on, the American politics and this war. Okay, I agree with you. I think Americans are beginning to reach their limit when it comes to the gas prices and the grocery prices. As a result of this war, we've all seen the price of gas jump up almost $1. So the American taxpayer is feeling the pinch of the gas prices. So I think like I had predicted when we just started talking about this, the American taxpayers only have a certain time to be able to say, you know what, it's not worth it. If they feel like they're paying more at the pump than they were prior to the war, they are going to be questioning the motives of the president. And I think I know I've been trying to say Iran is very much interested in negotiating. I think Trump on that front is very much interested in negotiating too, because he cares about the midterm elections that will be coming up in November. So why Iran is interested, I would say Americans are interested. So I really have not much pushback. I say if these things continue for another 2 weeks or so, you you're really going to see Americans beginning to turn on Trump. That, my man, you said this thing was going to be a straw in the park. This has taken more than we anticipated, and they will only say that because it begins to affect them domestically, it begins to affect them by the prices of gas that they pay at the pump and everything. But so really, me and you don't have any much disagreement on that front. So I think Trump is almost pushing it to the end of the rope. So the quicker he ends this thing, the better for him too politically. I know he doesn't have another term to run for, but
But he
he's
has two
interested
more
in
years to go, right?
passing his
If he doesn't
agenda. Yeah.
if he
So
doesn't
he
if
had
he doesn't
right.
if the Democrats take the House and the Senate, he's
Yeah.
just going to be lame duck president. He might
Just
rule by
lame
decree,
duck.
but
Whatever. Yeah.
how much decree
He
can
can.
you rule by,
Yeah.
right? So I
He,
think
he can pass an
he will
agenda.
definitely
Believe me, you're not going to get pushback from me on that front because I get it. Okay, when Americans feel like they are paying too much, for sure, it's going to be so. Yes, of course, Trump is really interested. That's why I'm not really. I know there's a group online and even in the media who are thinking about troops on the ground. Trump campaign against that seriously. I don't think that is going to really happen.
I
They
mean, he
might do some
campaigned
protective
against war,
service.
generally speaking, but here we are
Well,
fighting.
have you heard his
This is the
argument
second
about this?
war. This is the second war he's starting, right?
Okay, you have to let me respond.
The
You're making
response,
claim. Well, again, we have a different recollection of this. You seem to think this is a recent thing. I seem to think this is decade old war between the US and Iran. So their argument is they are trying to end a war. Your argument is they are starting a war. So there's a different outlook on this thing. Okay, Trump is saying this is the most American first thing you can do to stop people whose sole purpose is to destroy Israel first, then America, to destroy Western civilization in general. So that is their argument. Their argument is they are trying to end a war that has been going on for more than 4 decades. You can disagree with that, but I just listed to you all the things that American soldiers have suffered on their hands, on the behest of Iran, through other people, through proxies. Okay, so it's a different thing. If he can turn this around and say this was an American first agenda, and it was to safeguard the American population and to safeguard actually. And I know you thought I'm going to come down there. There's a bigger war strategy there. Okay, so not sure you're not going to get any serious pushback from me in terms of the American politics and whatever. Iranian politics, sure. They are getting pounding. They have still been replaced. A lot of people are galvanizing around the new Ayatollah for sure. They get regime change, especially Israel wanted that. I know that that was not really Americans' main concern. I think the new government, the nuclear weapons, was Americans' top agenda. If regime change came, sure, it would have been very much welcome. But um, regime change, I wouldn't say is a top priority of this war for Donald Trump. He has said Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. I think he has continued to state that that remains his top objective. He seems to say that Americans have done a good job in destroying that potential, destroying the actual whatever they have and the potential for them to be able to do that. So they might consider this a win. To be able to wrap it up, I say a negotiation will be good. Okay,
do they know? Do
so
they know? Iran had how many kilograms of
there's a
400, 400
449
yeah.
kilograms of enriched uranium. Yes.
Does anybody know where it is?
Oh, no, I don't know. I don't know. Me and you are talking about things that we don't have access to.
I mean,
There's
even if no, it's not just me and you. Donald Trump has made it very clear that they don't even know where it is.
right.
I'm
Okay.
sure you've heard that.
Right. Yeah, but you need facilities to be able to develop the nuclear weapons. You need scientists.
They don't even.
You need yeah, a lot of things you need. So I mean, I think the purpose will be
Oh,
destroy the uranium, but there are other things that you can destroy too. So we don't know.
no,
I don't
no.
know.
I'm saying
Mhm.
that they have enriched uranium 60%, and
I
some
mean,
people.
they said that the Iranian negotiators said that, not just Americans.
Yeah,
They
that's what
said
I
that.
said. No, that was common knowledge. Everybody knew that it wasn't a new thing.
Mhm.
They
Right,
didn't just say that at the negotiation.
right,
Everyone knew
Mhm.
that prior to the negotiation that Iran had enriched uranium up to 60%, and they had the
right.
400 and
Okay,
something kilograms of that.
kilogram. Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was
So
obvious. It wasn't.
we don't know where it is. I don't know.
So
If you know,
it's
please
not
let me
you
know.
don't know. I don't expect you to know. The United States, through their president, made it very clear that they do not know where it is,
Okay. Yeah.
and some believe, again, I don't, the folly of Donald Trump. Some believe that these American soldiers who are going through the Middle East might be dropped into to Iran to go find
To go fight.
this
Okay.
missing, which again I don't that's
Wait,
some
yeah.
some people are making that argument, which
Yeah,
I don't believe
we
that
don't
is
know.
something that is
Okay.
going to happen. You don't even know
Mhm,
where it is, so how do you go find it?
mhm.
um
Yeah, just
but
to wrap up, I
yeah.
think, sorry, I'm not going to take much time here.
Hmm.
Excuse me. There's something that in all our discussion of this war we haven't really talked about,
Right.
which is the larger power play in the world. Okay.
Hmm.
This, in my opinion, I think we have to develop this more, is America trying to insert itself, and you have alleged to this fact already, as the dominant power to the world. But in regards to who? In my opinion, in regards to China.
Of course.
Okay, they are reminding China that we are the boss of the world. We are going to be dictating terms in the world. Okay, so the whole goal of all this is to, cut energy supply to China, um, force China to be able to come to in good faith and negotiate with America as as the dominating power of the world. So this is not just Iran and America and Israel. There's also international war politics. There's also a power play
Hmm.
at the center of it all to be
Hmm.
able to bring China to um, um, a point where they recognize America as the war power. You have to also know China has developed military power rapidly in the
If I mean,
in the
if you
last.
have to make other people believe that you're the world power, don't you think that you're not? The only reason why you have to make people believe that you're something is if you're not that thing.
Oh,
I
really?
mean, a couple of years back, when the United States was what the United States was, they didn't have to go around and throw their muscles around to demonstrate that they are powerful. It was obvious; everybody knew that.
Hmm.
But the United States of the past 10 years, past 20 years, tells you that they themselves know that they have a
So
serious
that's what I'm trying to.
challenge.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And the
China has
only reason
grown
why they
rapidly.
are going out and throwing their weight around, going to Venezuela and throwing their weight around there, and talking
Hmm.
about it's because they know that they might not be the world power. Because if you
Right.
were the world power, you will not be throwing your weight around. So I agree that they want to show, they are trying to demonstrate to China that, oh yeah, we are still here. But again, for how long? I think that's where the question, that's
Well,
the
Trump
question.
has done a
For
good
how
job. He
long?
has blocked China. He's blocked China out of Venezuela. He's trying to block China out of Iranian oil. So if you can shut China receiving oil from this place, a lot of times, and these oils have been sanctioned, okay, then you
He's
can
buying, I mean,
exert
China
them.
takes oil from the Gulf too.
Yeah,
Buys a significant
Also,
portion of oil from the
but
Gulf. So
China also
are you
buys a
saying,
lot of illegal oil.
are you saying that America is going to stop its partners from selling oil to China? That is how they make
No,
their money. The
oh
Qatar and the
no,
Saudi
no, no,
Arabias,
no,
they
no.
make their money
What I'm
from oil and gas sales to China. So is Donald Trump going to say you guys cannot sell to China?
No, that's not Donald
Who's
Trump
going
is
to
going to
buy?
say.
If China isn't
No,
buying
that's
oil,
not what I'm
who's going
saying.
to buy? What are you saying?
Before you, I'm saying they're going to say you are not going to be able to exploit oil that has been sanctioned. That's what China was doing in Venezuela. They had Chinese company in Venezuela trying to develop Venezuela oil that has been sanctioned
Sanctioned by who?
by the international community.
No,
Like
no, 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 no.
by
Sanction of
who?
oil on Venezuela was a unilateral sanction by the United States. There was nothing to do with, there was no international sanction. It was not a sanction from the United Nations. It was a unilateral sanction by the United States, just like they do with everything. Sanction on
Right.
Iranian oil was not it was not internal. It was a
Mhm.
unilateral sanction by the United
Is
States.
yeah.
You can find that out.
Well, that's true. That's
Fine.
true.
So why do
But
you why should the United States sanction something and think that others are supposed to follow? Again, like I said, the time where the United States could do that has passed. That's why they sanction Russian oil, but India is still buying, China is still buying, right?
right.
That's
And
why
what
they
did the
sanction
US do to
Iranian
them?
oil,
What did the US do
but
to them?
China is still buying. Sorry, what? Sorry, what's the question?
What did the US? The US warned India that you should not more,
They're
you should
buying.
not
They're
be
still
buying this.
buying. They did not stop India from. They want India. They've
Well,
been warning India for years now. It's been 4 years since the Ukraine-Russian war started, and it's been almost 4 years since they banned Russian oil. But yet India has been buying Russian oil since then.
Anyways, the point we're trying to say is it's a global power dominance affair that's happening, and the US is trying to reinstate itself strategically
Aha,
as the
aha,
dominant power.
aha. You see how you use the words. You see how you use language.
But
Reinstate. What does that mean?
well, I just agreed with you that China has been growing rapidly. They have been developing their military force rapidly. They've been creating allies that are enemies of the US. So the US has to say no. You know what? I am the dominant power. The one to create a war. I mean, do you think the US is going to sit by and look at
They are going
the
to
US
fight
dollar be
like
replaced
every
by
dying, like
the
every dying empire. They put up a fight. The British Empire, they put up a fight, but they failed. They put up a fight in
anyway?
India. No, listen, it's not anyways. It's history, man. We both know that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying we have a president that's not going to let that happen.
You
Where
have a president that is going to put on a fight that we're already losing. And again, like I
losing,
said, like
you're the
every
one who knows
like
that they're losing.
like every empire.
They're already controlling Venezuela oil. They are almost at the verge of cutting China off Iranian oil. So I don't know. I'm going to talk about
How much oil does Venezuela produce?
what?
How much oil does Venezuela? That this is a serious question.
It's not just how much they
You can
produce;
Google
it's how much
how much
they
oil. No,
have.
how much oil does Venezuela put out to the international market? That is a very significant question. How much oil?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how much. I don't know. It doesn't say. I know they have one of the highest, if not the most oil reserve in the world. I
Well,
don't know
they
how
might
much
have
they put.
that, but it doesn't translate to production.
No,
We are looking at
there's
how much
another section.
oil they are putting out to the market. That is what is important. Because we say America, we
Well,
say
I don't have that information. So
we say China they've limited China from developing, and but it's how much
well,
quantity.
Chinese literally the day after they captured Maduro, Chinese officials were there trying to refine Venezuelan oil that has been sanctioned by the US. So I don't know
That has been
why.
sanctioned by individual sanctions oil and expect everyone to respect to
If you have
authorize.
the military capability, you can do that. That's what force means. That means I have the capability to be able to sanction and enforce it. That's why all these United Nations and African Unions, they are dying. They're just puppet
No, me
organizations
and you
because
agree
they
that it's
they
useless.
do not have the ability to enforce.
There's no
They do
argument
not.
about that. It's useless.
Yeah, so
But
they
again,
so whether you like it or not, and let's not pretend as if China is just there to be friendly or not. If China has the ability to be able to enforce their interests, they will do that. They have the military might and they have the military capability to do that. So we should just not. I think we're always or the frame has always been that the US bad,
no,
China is just good.
the thing is,
China is just the good side.
The United States have forgotten how to use their soft power.
Well,
That
because we're not dealing with no, because soft power now.
they've resorted. That is what China is doing.
China
China
using
is not
soft power,
fighting any wars, but they are in every part of the world. They don't need to fight.
right?
It's soft power. I come to you and China comes to you and say, hey, this is something that we can do together. This is what I'm going to get out of it. This is what you are going to get out of it. We will
Mm-hmm.
finance it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to come fight. They don't have to go seize Venezuelan oil. They don't have to kidnap the president. They went there and they
You're missing the whole context. The point is
that
they
is soft
you
power,
well no, but
which
you're not going
America
to.
does not know how to use anymore, or they don't have any.
Okay, I don't know whether we're missing out in international politics. You cannot come and try to apply soft power in a territory that I have sanctioned. I am going to, if I have the military capability, I am going to use the force. and whatever means necessary to be able to enforce dominance. So you coming to do soft power when I'm putting sanctional oil, and then you look at it and then you say that's normal, really?
And that's
If,
why they're fighting in Iran and not able to
of
win. And
course.
that's why they are fighting in Ukraine and are not able to win. And that's why they got
Anyways, we disagree.
that's why they got into Iraq and and stayed there for 20
All
years and
right.
they
You
had to
can go
had to
now.
run away out of the place. That's why they went to Iran to Afghanistan, stayed there for 20 something years, and then had to
I mean,
escape.
you seem to
I
think
mean,
that people just spend. You seem to think that people just spend trillions of dollars on their military just for nothing. You think China is just spending trillions of dollars on its military just to be nice, just to be kind, not to use it.
I, I,
Don't you know that this?
you're not getting the point I'm making. The point I'm trying to make is this: that America is a dying empire. They know it.
Oh, you
But
wish.
like most
You
like
wish.
most empires, see, every empire
You
comes to an end. The
wish.
Roman Empire eventually came to an end, right?
Uh,
The
the
British
American is
Empire
not now.
eventually
I
came to
know
an
that's
end.
what you think,
The
but the
Ottoman
American is
Empire
not now.
eventually, no,
It's not now.
eventually it takes. I'm not saying that it's
It's
going to come
I
to an
don't know.
end. I'm not saying it's going to come to an end tomorrow. But
Yeah.
if you go back and see the decline in the American Empire, you would know there
I
is
don't know if
no way
it's climbing
Iran.
up now.
There is
It's not
no there,
declining.
there is no way the Iran of today would have been able to withstand the power of the United States from I don't know how many years ago.
Okay. You
The
wish.
only
Anyways,
reason this
I
is
think we
happening,
disagree.
the
We know
only
where we
reason this is
disagree.
happening is because the United States is declining in its power. That is the only reason why Iran has the guts to challenge them
Okay,
and to
good.
fight
We
them
disagree.
with them until
Fair
now.
point. We
We
disagree.
disagree,
Okay,
but
let's go.
yeah,
Paper visit coming to Cameroon next month. For
you
some reason, Cameroon has always been a stop for
yeah.
many popes, which is interesting. This time he's going to make a trip to the Northwest region. Uh, Many people have different opinions about his trip to the Northwest. They say, no, he's supposed to use it to call on the government, talk about the oppression of the people of the Northwest and stuff like that. Government officials are probably going to use it and say, you see, there's no mercy in the Northwest. That's why the Pope can be able to come and visit. So, what are your thoughts?
I I I really don't. I I I don't know. I don't know what views. My question is, how did this trip come up in the first place? Did
Mhm,
the Cameroon government request for a papal visit as the
mhm.
or did the Pope choose to visit Cameroon out of the 52, 54 African states?
Yeah.
Why Cameroon? I think that is my first
And he's going to
question.
only 4 African countries.
Out of the 50
Well,
something.
for some reason, the Cameroon Catholic population is very significant. We have a significant Catholic population, I think more than a lot of African countries. There's a reason why many popes, and I think John Paul came to Cameroon twice.
Mhm.
No, there's a reason because they have a significant Catholic population in
I mean,
Cameroon.
Cameroon is like 20 something million. You think half of that
Yeah,
population is Catholic? I don't know that half
I
of
don't know. I don't know that it's half, but I know it's a significant chunk. But I mean, whatever the case, the Pope coming to visit tells you that he has significant interest in his flock
I don't know if
in
it's the
that.
envelope that Pat attempted to give him the last
Come
time.
on,
No,
come on.
I'm just saying that I mean we also maybe we misread it,
I
but I
know.
saw an envelope and I saw an attempt to hand the envelope. So I don't
Uh-huh.
know if it's that or if Cameroon because again this
How much can you bribe the Pope? In
I
all
don't
honesty,
I don't
how
know.
much? The
Everybody has
richest organization.
everybody has a price. Everybody has a price. That's what I know. I know that everybody has a price. I don't know what his price is. I don't
Yeah,
know if he was bribed or if he's doing this because again, of course, the loss of Catholic Christians in Cameroon, right?
yeah.
But again, that the next question which comes up is why Bamenda? Why
Yeah,
why
I think part of it is giving
Bamenda?
hope. Part of it is giving hope to the Catholic Christians there who have suffered a lot from the ongoing crisis. We know a number of priests and Christians who have been killed.
With
Um,
with that in mind, can he go
mhm.
there and not really talk about what's going on?
I
How do
mean,
you
like, what?
how do you console and give comfort without really
Yeah.
talking about why you're giving comfort to the people in question. I don't know how that happened.
I mean, you need to follow the Vatican. I know it's a spiritual, it's a religious spiritual organization. So they're never there to take sides. They're always there to reinforce human dignity,
Mhm.
call people to peace and dialogue, remind people that we all deserve, we all children of God and love. That's all they can do. They don't have a military that's going to fight anywhere.
A lot of people are going to be disappointed. I saw a
Yeah,
post that you put up from Mimi Memfo questioning uh with the same, with the kind of the same ideas, like, okay,
right.
you're going to Cameroon, this is what has been going on, are you going to go? But again, I mean, these people, you always
And
misquote.
I call it.
She misquoted the Bible. She said, but again, Jesus made it very clear, I'm not a politician. I didn't come to liberate your
Right,
political systems.
right.
I came here to free you from your sins and to
Yeah, to
give
call you to a different
call
kingdom.
you
My
to a
kingdom is not
kingdom,
of the world.
not this one.
It's out of
So
this
when
world.
I read her message and then she tried to connect it to, I'm like, do you know the Bible? Did you read the Bible? Do you know how to interpret the Bible?
Right.
Again, which is something that she does. I think she
And she
has.
says that's what a pastoral visit is supposed to
It's
be. I'm
not.
like, do you know
That's
the
why it's a
pastoral visit
pastoral
is?
visit and not a political visit, right?
Right. Yeah. And then she's trying, I mean, she starts with saying in a country where the 2025 election is still in doubt. She was still trying to like cast doubt in the previous election. I'm like, look at lady, we all
Where is
read
this
this,
at Chiruba?
lady,
Where,
we all read this, and you know, but yeah, she's gone. She's a full-blown propagandist for me.
yeah.
So yeah, and also the last one, I don't know, my childhood hero, Folly Duran. You know, I watched the league growing up. I don't know about you, but I was so sad to see that he passed on today. And we've had a few rumors here and there that he's died before, but today it was confirmed by his
Mm,
family that he's finally going to be with his maker. So I have fond memories of him daily. Those were our Saturday
mm,
entertainment.
mm.
I'm sure you did too. So I was a little bit shocked by his passing. I don't know if he affected you too, because in my estimation, he's an icon of Cameroon entertainment. He has an indelible mark in that industry. He worked for a long time in CRTV. Um, the oldest youth in Cameroon, as many people tell him. He never really looked old, always looking young, energetic, and ran his program for years upon years and engaged the people. And people could watch TV on Saturday and feel some relief. So I was really sad and disappointed. How about you?
Eh, I mean, it's sad when anybody dies.
Yeah.
There was no particular affinity for Lee Ziran. Yeah,
For Lady Day.
I did watch the Lee, of course. I don't think any person our age would say that they were not interested
Right.
in his program. But I mean, as a person outside the program, I
Yeah.
didn't know him well enough. I didn't,
Personality. Yeah.
care well enough to
Mm-hmm.
really have a feeling other than
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
sadness of someone passing.
Someone person.
I heard of his passing today, and I took a minute, and then I was back
You
on
went on with your day.
my day, right? Which
That's life. Yeah. That's life.
it's life
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but right, he had a significant impact on people our age growing up.
Mm-hmm.
There are currently a lot of artists and musicians in Cameroon who went through the league, and
Yeah.
the program kind of opened them up to the
Give them a
show
platform.
business, gave them a platform, and yeah, that's how they came up, which of course is always a good thing when that happens. I think he's been out of the limelight for a little
Yeah.
while,
Yeah. He's dealing with the health issues
and
and had a
probably that's
fallout
why
with.
that's why
Yeah.
there's not a lot of affinity for him, because we
Right.
probably I stopped hearing or
Watching for a
seeing
long time. Yeah.
seeing
For
him
a long
for a
time.
long time, right? Maybe that's why it's not that significant. But again, um
Somebody died. A father, a brother.
somebody died. It is, yeah, it's
Yeah.
important.
Well, anyway, today has been good. A lot of back and forth as always. Mutual love. We come up and we'll do it again the next time. That's what happens here. We disagree on some things, we agree on some. That's life. It's
That's
life. We're not guaranteed to always agree on the other
we
partner.
don't.
So we have
I mean,
we have love and respect for each other.
if there are things that we agree on, why not? We will agree
why,
on.
why not? Yeah,
clearly.
yeah.
But if there are things that we have obvious disagreements
We
on,
hammer it out.
going to express our disagreements and
Right. Fair
opinions. Again,
point.
that is what this platform is all about.
It's
It's not for conformity.
echo chamber.
It's not a
Is what
an
it is.
echo chamber where we come and agree on everything. No,
Something combined.
we can disagree and do that respectfully and heated, but with respect for
Of
the other
course.
person, right?
Fair
So yeah,
point. Yeah, we'll meet.
the
Mhm.
27 day 27.
Yeah,
Again, in my, I don't believe that this war is going to be ending anytime soon. So we will have a conversation again some point next week. Give you some updates and see if anything has changed. Ghana seem to be very optimistic about the possibility of a ceasefire or a peace
yeah,
deal. I mean, I would love a peace deal. I don't want anybody dying, so a
hmm
peace deal would be a good thing. But again,
yeah,
my opinions are based on some of the things that I see or hear
hmm
this they leaders say, and my lack of trust for some of these leaders.
yeah,
They would have to, take some steps to build back or gain back the trust that they've lost. Donald Trump hasn't done that yet, so maybe with time he might. Again, that's
yeah.
just me. Well,
Nice.
thank you, everyone. Would see you shortly.
Yeah, yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you.
bye.